Are you surrounded by idiots? Have you ever felt like everyone around you is nuts? Do you work with someone who drives you crazy? We've all been there. Dealing with difficult people is a part of life. Whether it's a grumpy coworker or a demanding boss, difficult people can make us feel stressed. This essay will give you some tools. You can use these tools to handle those tricky situations. We will look at why people act the way they do, and we will talk about how to deal with them effectively. Remember, you can't change someone else, but you can change how you react to them. Let's get started. Difficult people are everywhere. They might be passive-aggressive, or they might be overly critical. They might be negative. Whatever their behavior, it's important to remember one thing. It's not always about you. Sometimes people act out because they are struggling. They might be stressed. They might be dealing with personal issues, or maybe they just don't know how to communicate effectively. Whatever the reason, it's important to approach these situations with empathy. Try to see things from their perspective. This doesn't mean you have to excuse their behavior, but it can help you understand where they are coming from. So how can you tell if someone is being difficult? Here are a few common signs. They might be constantly negative. They complain a lot. They gossip about others. They interrupt you when you're talking. They're always right, even when they're wrong. For example, let's say you have a coworker who is always negative. No matter what you say, they find something to complain about. This can be draining to be around. Another example, imagine you have a friend who is always critical. They put you down. They make you feel bad about yourself. This is not the kind of person you want in your life. Section 4. Behind the behavior. A look at the why. Now that you know how to spot difficult behavior, let's talk about why people act this way. One reason is low self-esteem. People with low self-esteem often put others down. They do this to make themselves feel better. Another reason is a lack of boundaries. Some people don't know how to set healthy boundaries. They might overshare personal information, or they might try to control others. Sometimes difficult behavior is a learned response. If someone grew up in a chaotic or dysfunctional household, they might not know how to communicate effectively. They might resort to yelling, name-calling, or other unhealthy behaviors. It's important to remember that everyone has a story. The person who's being difficult might be dealing with something you know nothing about. Section 5. Your toolkit for tricky interaction. Dealing with difficult people can be challenging, but it doesn't have to control your life. Here are some tips to help you manage those tricky interactions. 1. Stay calm. It's easy to get caught up in the heat of the moment, but it's important to stay calm. Take a few deep breaths. Try to see the situation objectively. 2. Set boundaries. It's important to set boundaries with difficult people. Let them know what you will and will not tolerate. For example, you might say something like, "I'm not comfortable talking about this," or "I need some space right now." 3. Listen actively. Sometimes all someone needs is to be heard. Make eye contact, nod your head, ask clarifying questions. This shows the other person that you're paying attention. 4. Choose your battles. You don't have to engage in every argument. Sometimes it's best to walk away. Section 6. Communicate with confidence, and calm communication is key when dealing with difficult people. Here are some tips for effective communication. 1. Be assertive, not aggressive. Assertiveness is about standing up for yourself while respecting the other person. Aggression is about attacking the other person. When you're assertive, you're clear about your needs and boundaries. You're not afraid to say no. 2. Use I statements. I statements are a great way to communicate your feelings without blaming the other person. For example, instead of saying "you're always late," you could say, "I feel disrespected when you're late." 3. Use humor carefully. Humor can be a great way to diffuse a tense situation, but it's important to use humor carefully. You don't want to make light of the situation or make the other person feel worse. Remember, dealing with difficult people is a marathon, not a sprint. There will be good days and bad days. Be patient with yourself. Keep practicing these tips. You've got this.